So in the last episode, we prepared all the bits of timber that we're going to need to cut out the final parts for our daybed. So here is the general idea of the dimensions of the daybed that I want. 850 across, 1920 long. And here I'm measuring across the tops of the two legs, and I'll subtract that number from the width that I want, so that I know how wide the brace between those two legs needs to be to make the ends. And I've included the other bits and pieces that I want to make up the ends to make them look nice. So here I have a cut list. I need to cut these parts from the laminated and the thin sections. I need to cut those parts from the other bits of laminated, non-laminated, the silky yoke, and the bit of broomstick that I have. So I'll clear all these things away and get out the drop saw. And the drop saw is very easily going to cut these bits of timber correctly to the size that I want for the parts. So there I've already cut out the length of the rails. And here I'm cutting out the brace that will go in between the legs on the ends. And I'm using this same method of cutting an original piece, getting rid of any parts that are not that nice, and then lining up one end of the original piece with the saw and the other end with the piece that I want to cut. And that way I can easily cut pieces that are exactly the same length without having to measure each one of them precisely with a pencil and a square. Okay, there we go. Everything cut out the same. To cut out the silky yoke, again, it's an opportunity to get rid of any of the rough parts of it that are near the ends. It's recycled timber, so it won't be perfect, but its imperfections are what gives it some of its character. So I'm not too concerned about nail holes and things like that. Okay, and then to cut these bits of broomstick, I've put a block in place 100 millimeters away from the saw, and then using that I can quickly cut them out and safely to the right size. Then everything gets a light sand to remove any rough evidence of cutting, and everything gets its nail holes filled, because this is actually all of the timber that is going to be used in the daybed. So there's nothing here that you see that will be thrown away. And I'm giving the bits of silky oak a light sand with the belt sander, because they also have holes that need to be filled. And to fill these holes, I'm going to mix up some of the fine sawdust that I collected from sanding and a little bit of glue, and you can mix this into a paste just with an old bit of stick. It's fairly messy stuff, but it's a cheap and effective way to fill imperfections in wood, because by the time this is dry, that dried mixture of sawdust and glue will be the same color as the wood that it came from. So yeah, just fill in the rest of those, and we'll let that dry, and then everything of course will be resanded, because eventually this silky oak will just have a varnished natural wood finish as a little bit of decoration for the daybed. So at this point I'm laying out the parts. In the back there are the two rails, and then here I'm assembling the parts for the two ends. And you can see that those bits of broomstick just act as little spaces for the brace and the armrest that's made of silky oak. So here again are all the different pieces, and I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out. That's everything that we need pretty much to put our daybed together. And in the next episode we'll be assembling these parts by fixing them together. And I look forward to seeing you in that episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.